All right, well, welcome everyone. Today we're doing our third out of three webinars on local SEO. And our topic today is implementing an online review request system. As I'm reading that, I realized that could sound very dull, boring, and abstract, but actually I think this is maybe for many churches the number one missing piece in keeping your search rankings low. In other words, it's the number one barrier which prevents your search rankings from getting higher, is that you're not asking for the online reviews in a repeatedly, and you're not making it easy for people to leave them. So that's what we're going to look at today, and glad you could all join us today. As always, there are links. I'm going to paste them in the chat. What I recommend is that what you can do with those links is you can just copy those. So you can just open up the chat and highlight the links that I just pasted there, copy them into some other document on your computer, and then you have those. Let me just walk through what those are. So the first thing I want to highlight is the church outreach group and courses. Church outreach group and courses. So this is something new that we're starting. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be very important and very valuable for people in the coming weeks and months, is our plan and our prayer. And what I really want to highlight is that there's a classroom section. So this is where you should go to go back to any topics that you have missed. So for example, in June and July, we were focusing on sermon publishing. All of those videos are now here in the classroom of the church outreach group. And then I've got to go back to the classroom here. Also, the local SEO for churches, what we're going through right now. All of those are going to be gathered here as well. So use that link in the chat, and when you go to that page, there's a button you click, and you'll be able to join the group. As a 5 More Talents customer, you get free access to these courses through the end of 2025. Those who are not 5 More Talents website customers are the only way for them to be able to get access to them is going to be to pay a monthly membership. So this is where we're sharing our best stuff, our newest stuff. It's going to be through this church outreach group. So go ahead and join that. And then the second thing I want to highlight in the links is that there is this page of guides that walks you through all of the different things we've been talking about for local SEO. So from a few weeks ago, we had the getting started, talking about claiming your Google Maps profile was the main topic. What we talked about last week with claiming other online directory listings, those how-to guides are in there. And just to kind of give you a glimpse of what these look like, is they're literally step by step. They have text and they have images just showing you, here's what you do step by step to do these various things. So we have those guides for what we're going to be talking about today as well. And then for our free bonus, this is really cutting edge stuff. So this is a friend of mine that did this. It's building an autoresponder for Google reviews. So this is pretty advanced, pretty geeky, but this is something you should look into. It could be very helpful in actually helping you respond to Google reviews, which is something you're doing as you get them on your Google Maps profile. All right, so all of those are in those links. All right, so before we get to today's topic, let me just remind us of the goals of these webinars. We are systematically going through proven methods of outreach you can use to bring the work of your church before the people of your community. We at Five More Talents, we primarily work with confessional, Presbyterian, and Reformed churches. And so just a backstory you might appreciate how we came up with these 4 topics is a few months ago, I was glancing through the official church planting manual of the Orthodox Presbyterian Church, and they have a section on outreach. And these are the exact 4 things that they mention: advertising, publishing newsletters, organizing and promoting public meetings, and distributing recordings and transcripts of sermons and teaching. So we're not trying to be novel. We're not trying to be outlandish. We're just trying to go with the tried and true. But of course, as technology changes, the way that the exact steps that you use to do these various things, does keep changing. So that's what we're trying to do, is just keep up with the changing technologies and help you do the same. We're planning to continue doing these webinars. We're going to take next Thursday off related to the Labor Day holiday, but then we're going to continue to do these webinars. Although I have a poll that I'm going to do before we're done today about what the next topic should be. Might be different from what is shown here. All right, so today we're going to look at implementing an online review request system. All right, we know that local SEO is important. This is a collection of things that you can do, without paying thousands of dollars on online ads, that can influence the search ranking and the search visibility of your church. And there is evidence that more and more people are searching for church near me online, or even Presbyterian church near me, or Reformed church near me. That's what this graph shows. So it's an opportunity that every church has. So I just want to look at, we've talked about this the past couple weeks, and we really did a deep dive last week, but I just want to take a look at this one more time. What are the local search ranking factors? So when somebody does a search for church near me, let's just say they type in church near me. What the search engine does is it tries to figure out where that searcher is located, and then it maps that to some sort of zip code or city and state, right? And then that's one of the factors of what's shown here, is just the center of that locality, right? So it certainly does pose a challenge for those that might have a building, say, on the outskirts of a town or a city or something like that. But there's a lot of other factors that you can much more easily influence. So one of them is just the category. So you can see each of these, say, Catholic Church, Christian Church, Baptist Church. So just making sure that your Google Maps profile is properly categorized. And by the way, you should claim your Google Maps profile. That's what we talked about in part 1 of this series. The next thing I want you to notice here is that each of these 3 results all show open or closed or open. Now, how does the search engine know that? Well, it's because in that Google Maps profile, the hours of operation have been specified. So for a church, you at the very least want to list the Sunday worship times and Sunday school and and so forth. And if the church has office hours, you want to list those as well. The last thing I want to highlight about this is that you'll notice that each of these has 22 or more reviews, right? First Baptist Church of Northport has 22. Foundation Church has 137. And San Pedro Catholic Church has 192. So reviews is clearly a very important search ranking factor. And you can see that that's this orange piece of the pie here is review signals. And I just want to, I'm not going to talk about any other pieces of the pie today. I just want to look at this review signals a little bit more closely. It says review quantity, review velocity, and review diversity, right? So quantity. So obviously you want to have as many legitimate, authentic reviews as possible. Now the velocity relates to how are those reviews spaced out? Was it just, 10 reviews that happened in 2 days of time, and then there were no more reviews ever? Or is it, 1 review 1 week, 2 reviews the next week, 1 review the next week, 3 reviews the next week? Is it like a steady rhythm of reviews? That's what review velocity means. Then review diversity. I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that. But there is evidence from other parts of the search engine is that when the search engine is putting together a search result page, you can see where it tries to sprinkle in a variety of different types of results, and it's not necessarily the ones that are the most well-known websites. Sometimes the websites that rank the best are not the most well-known websites or the ones that have the most people linking to them. But there's some other reason why Google decides to highlight them. So I think one other thing I would mention here related to review signals is responses to reviews. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. Responses to reviews may not show up in this number count. Like 22 reviews doesn't mean there's been 22 responses by the church, but it certainly does not hurt to have responses to those reviews. So all of this really points to just having just a steady stream of authentic reviews that are being added, right? That's a positive signal to the search engine that this place should be highly ranked. All right, before we get into the nuts and bolts of how do you actually build an online review system, are there any questions? If so, feel free to type in the chat or unmute yourself.
Daniel,
Daniel, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just kind of curious about, is there a way to filter those reviews on your end? I mean, if you were to get somebody that got angry with the church for some reason and started, use it as a way of, posting negative reviews.
Yeah. That's one of the things, as we're going to look at that, there's a mechanism that Google provides for reporting an inappropriate review.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to show you that exact mechanism.
Daniel?
Yes.
You mentioned responses to reviews. Is that the church responding?
Yes.
Okay, and how is that done?
I'm going to show you that today as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. So what I recommend is that you you provide people with a direct link to where they can leave a review on your Google Maps profile, right? So one of the reasons why people don't leave reviews is because everybody's busy, right? They don't know how to do it. It takes too long. So if you can just make it super easy for them just to click one thing that takes them exactly to where they leave the review, then that will help help get more reviews. So let me show you how to find this profile link. And then I'm going to show you two different ways that I recommend you start using this direct link. All right, so here's what I recommend. You go to Google Maps. I'm going to use Word of Life Church as an example again. Okay. Now, because I am a manager on this Google Maps profile, I see a button here that says Manage Your Business Profile. That's what you're looking for. So when you do that, this is what it shows you. Now, there's a bunch of different things you can click on. One of them is Ask for Reviews. And it gives you a review link. So you can just copy that. Now let me show you what this looks like when someone clicks on it. Let's see. Let me just try doing this. Okay, so if you share that link, they click on it. All right. So you'll notice it says Word of Life Church at the top. And then it shows here's who I am, being a boss. And then I can click and give a rating. And I can share some details of my experience at this place. And I can even add photos and videos. All right. So if you share this link with people, then it will take them directly to this. And then all they have to do is just click the stars and write a sentence or two. And then click post. That's it. All right. So a couple ways to use this. So the first thing I would recommend is that you create a QR code, and you could put this on a bulletin, for example. So it's very common for, in my experience, for churches to have some either bulletin or something that's available on Sunday mornings where it's a welcome to visitors, announcements, that kind of thing. So I would urge you to consider having a QR code. You need a refresher course on how a QR code works. Basically, it looks kind of like this, all right? Kind of like it's like this. It's basically like a way of encoding that URL. And basically, what you do, like you can see what I'm doing here. You basically hold up your phone to it. You just open your camera app, and you just hold it up, and it detects that that's a QR code. And then you tap on it, and then it opens. In this case, it's going to open up that link in the web browser. All right. So what you can do is come to qrstuff.com. There's actually lots of different websites that do this. And most of them are trying to sell you some upsell, but most of them also have a free version. This one I like. It has a really good free version. But you just paste in that URL, and now you actually have. You can just you can go through and you can tinker with the look and feel. You can experiment with different shapes and colors and well, I guess some of the things are only available to paid subscribers, but you really don't need to do any of that. Really, all you need to do is paste your URL, download this as a PNG file, right? And you have that file, right? And you can just take that file and you can put that on anything that you print out, the weekly bulletin, something else that you hand out to visitors, maybe something that you have in a whatever you do, you just integrate that into what you're doing on a weekly basis. And then you can just tell people, just help them to understand that one of the ways they can help with the outreach of the church is just by scanning that QR code, and it'll take them exactly where they need to leave a review, and then they can just leave that review. It takes them a minute or two. Super easy for them. Okay. All right, let me pause there before we move on to the next thing. Any questions on what I've shared so far about direct review links and QR codes?
Yes, Daniel. Can
Yes.
the QR code be pasted into the text of a sermon page on our WordPress site?
Yes, you can take that link and you can put it anywhere that you would. It's just a regular old link.
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right. Another idea that you can consider is add this button to any emails that you're sending out. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is an example of adding to a church email newsletter, and you could also include this. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you'd have to talk about what are the different ways. Maybe I have some other ideas as well if you want to talk about them. But I'm going to show you just how you could include a button in an email newsletter. So I am going to use the example of MailPoet, which is a WordPress plugin, which is used for sending out email blasts. And let's see, where is this? Okay. All right, so what you can do is just in an email, and you could do this in other, mail, if you use MailChimp or Constant Contact or something like that. There's similar tools, but what I like about MailPoet is it's just built into the WordPress dashboard once you install the plugin. All right, so what you can do is just have a button in an email, and this is basically an automated email that summarizes, here's the latest things that have been posted on the website. That's one of those things I'm going to include in the poll, is whether you want to learn more about this in the month of September. So we'll come back to that, but let's just focus on this button for now. So the idea is you can have a button that says review on Google, and then you can just paste that link right there. All right, and then I click on that. Again, it's just going to take them directly to exactly where they need to click the stars and write their sentence or two or three, however much they want to write. All right, so that's the second idea of how you could use this. Again, this would be if you're already sending out an email newsletter, just kind of add this to the template, just a button that they can click on, and they can just leave a review. You probably want to add a sentence just reminding people that it is just a simple way that they can help with the outreach of the church. All right, any questions on that before I move on to responding to Google reviews and dealing with inappropriate reviews? Okay. All right, so let's look at responding to reviews. Okay, so just do a recap of how I got to this. So you have to, there's a prerequisite for this is you have to have registered your Google profile. And then you can get to it that way. All right, so now you can click read reviews. All right. And then you can see under each review, you can actually filter to unreplied. And then you just click reply. Right. And you just type your response and click reply. And that's basically it. It's very simple. So once you know where to look, it's really easy. So any questions on that? All right. So now let's deal with the scenario that Joe raised of what happens if somebody leaves an inappropriate review. And it does happen. It does happen sometimes. So Google does provide a mechanism for that. And let's see. So we'll look at requesting the removal of an inappropriate review on Google. I'm going to just, we're going to part of this, we're going to look at the guide here. I'll show you how to find this. So some of the things that Google has, I just find the best way to get to it is just to do a Google search for it. Which I know is kind of dorky, but so the way I got to this is I just did a Google search for remove reviews from your business profile on Google. All right, that takes you to this. You just click on, and this is how Google handles some things. Is they basically have a help page and it has a button. So you got to click on this button. All right, then it asks you to confirm which account that you're using, and then show you what the process looks like here. Okay. So basically it shows you a list of the different profiles that you have access to. And then you can select that one and you click the button. And then so then you see, you may only have one Google Maps profile, but for people like me that have access to multiple, this is definitely helpful. And once you've selected that, then there's this button that says report a new review for removal. And then it shows you a list of the reviews. And you can see there's a link to view that review if you can't remember which one it is. I mean, usually it's these, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5 star ones that are going to be the ones that probably going to be on the list to report. And you click report, and that's it. That at least begins the process. And it's not a guarantee that they're going to remove it, which is why it's important to have a process for responding to reviews as well. But they do have a mechanism that is, semi-automated. All right, any questions on that? All right. Well, that is really all I had prepared for today. Just to recap what we've discussed in this series, one of the things you should be doing with local SEO, I'd recommend doing this on you don't want to get, you can become obsessed with looking at the rankings, but if you're doing it once a month, then should be good. But you can use Google Search Console to kind of check how things are going, see how many clicks you're getting. You want to make sure that your homepage is clearly labeled church, in, city, state, whatever your city and state are. You want to make sure you've claimed your Google Maps profile. I recommend that you share access to the Google profile with at least one other person, just to share the responsibility of it. And Google Maps provides a mechanism for that. You do need to claim other directory listings in addition to Google Maps. So that's what we looked at last week of how you can use various software tools such as Moz Local to run a report, manually claim listings, or the other option is to sign up for the software and then manage the listings that way. And then today we looked at online reviews. One other thing that comes to mind about this is that this is we'll come back to this. There's the review signals. Now this other orange piece of the pie, link signals. This this is where sermon publishing is very helpful, okay? Because if you're publishing sermons with full text transcripts, like we were talking about a few months ago, then people are more likely to link to them. And so anytime another website links to your website, that is a positive link signal. And so that will also help you in your website ranking higher. So really going back to the church outreach group, these first two series that we've been doing really work hand in hand. The sermon publishing gets your sermons out there in front of a lot more people, and it actually is a factor that helps with your local SEO as well. But there's these other things we've been talking about the last 3 weeks that really help you get on the map locally. All right. Ron, good question. The document, this document, yes. So I shared this link in the first thing I posted at the beginning of the meeting, but I'm posting it again. It's the one that starts scribehow.com. All right. And then once again, as a free bonus today, there is the YouTube video. It's definitely an advanced cutting edge system, but it walks you through every step of creating an autoresponder. Sorry, so that link, I'll paste that again in chat. Once you start getting more reviews, then this could be very helpful. All right. So let's talk about the next webinar. The next webinar is not next week. It is 2 weeks from today, after Labor Day, on September 5. So I have a poll. I would like to get y'all to vote on what you want to do next. I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll. And let me just give a little pitch for each one of these 3 topics. The question is, which topic most interests you for our September webinars? Each of these 3 topics we are probably going to do in some form before the end of 2024. But the 3 topics are how to create an email newsletter. So that would basically walk you through, I gave you a little glimpse of using MailPoet. So what I would focus on and how to create an email newsletter is how to use the MailPoet plugin for WordPress to create an email newsletter. And one of the things we would look at is creating an automatic newsletter, which automatically goes out once a week, and it includes things that have been added to your website. And that can include things like recent sermons. It can include the next events listed on the calendar. If you're adding blog posts to the site, it can automatically list those blog posts. And we can also look at how do you send out just a non-automatic newsletter, but just something that you manually put together. All right, the next one, running Facebook ads. I think this could be very helpful for promoting a special event. So, for example, we are talking about, we've done this before with churches promoting Christianity Explored evangelistic Bible studies. We've used Facebook ads to help a church do a book giveaway. Talking with a church right now about the idea of using Facebook ads to invite people to the English classes that their church offers. So this would basically, be and again, all these are 3-week series, and this would show you how to, define the audience that you want to show the ads to. It would teach you how to put together an ad that looks good, that is going to encourage people to click on it. And then one of the things that we would probably also address is how do you use some of the technology to make sure that you're making the most of the money that's being spent on the ads by one of the things I recommend people consider is having some sort of form that they fill out on your website. So for example, for a church offering an English class, you might have a video that just introduces the English class, invites people to the English class. They click on it, takes them to the website, and then they sign up for the English class. And so there's a special thing you have to do to make sure that Facebook ads or whatever the online ads platform you're using can track when somebody actually fills out that form. But once you have that tracking set up, it actually is able to identify Facebook users or Google users or YouTube users. It's actually able to help identify which users to show those ads to, so that you show those ads to the people that are most likely to actually fill out the form and sign up for the class in this case. All right, and then the third option is how to implement a text messaging based follow-up system. And basically what this would, one of the things one of the things that it's really easy to miss out on an opportunity is when you have a special event or something where people are giving you their email and their potentially even their phone number. How do you then follow up with them, right? I think there's a lot of missed opportunities simply because there's just not a system in place. There's not a organized effort to see who all attended the special event, or even like who all, the visitors that came on Sunday morning, and then just to follow up with them systematically. So one of the ways that this can be done is using a text messaging based follow-up system. And there are some web-based platforms that make this pretty easy to manage, to where you can just put in some phone numbers, and then you can just send out messages to each of those people. Say, hey, thank you for coming to the conference recently, or thank you for coming to the English class recently, or thank you for coming to the Vacation Bible School recently, and I would like to invite you to the worship service this Sunday. Tap this link to learn more about our church, or tap this link to listen to a recent sermon, or whatever it is that you want to say. You can include that in the text message, and then with these web-based tools, you can actually see people's responses. So you don't even have to use your phone to answer people's text messages. You just kind of have this dashboard, and so you can follow up with people that way. I think an email newsletter can be used in the same way. So I see these email newsletter and text messaging as two key ways of follow-up. So, all right, so I'm going to close the poll in 30 seconds. Okay, Ron. In order to do text messaging, yeah, you need phone numbers. Yep. So, all right. All right, for Facebook ads, okay, for Facebook ads, no, you do not need phone numbers or email addresses to use Facebook ads. Basically, there's a form of, there's a way that you can basically just indicate a radius, say like 3 miles around your church building as an example. And you can just say, hey, I want to spend $10 a day and just show these ads to everyone within a 3 mile radius, or 5 mile, or whatever it is, 7 mile, around the church building. And you don't need their phone numbers, you don't need their email addresses. What I do recommend is that, and this is part of what what I'm going to show you all when we do talk about running Facebook ads, is in many cases you at least need to consider having a form on your website that people have to fill out, so that you're not just showing the ad to people that just click on it and kind of look at a page on your website, and then who knows what they do after that. By putting a form on the website, then you can actually help the advertising system show the ad to more people that actually end up filling out the form. Can you clarify that question, Ron? Is that a daily rate or a number of impressions? You need to unmute yourself.
Okay, so if I place an ad, will the cost of that ad on a daily basis, or is it based on the number of people who open Facebook and see the ad or have it presented to them?
Yeah, basically the online advertising platforms sort of run like an auction. So you're competing in most cases with other advertisers, right? So basically what you do is you set a daily budget, and in most cases that is the most significant limitation. And so what you'd see is, if you set, let's say you set a budget of $10 a day or $5 a day, what you're going to see is that you see like the number of impressions and clicks fluctuate. And it does depend, of course, on when people are online, whether there are other advertisers that were trying to advertise in that same 3 to 5 mile radius, right? There's that competition, which the more competition there is, the more that drives up the price per click and so forth. That's one of the reasons why I recommend that you don't. I hear a lot about people like clicking the boost posts. I don't know if you've seen that. If you have a Facebook page, there's a button where you can just click boost post, right? Where you can just boost a post on your Facebook page and spend $10 and they'll just show it to a bunch of other people. They make it really easy to do that. But how do you know that you're actually showing that ad to the people that are most likely to actually not just see the ad and click on the ad, but actually visit your website, see what it is, see the invitation, and then fill out the form, to say, yes, I want to attend the English class, or I'm planning to come to Vacation Bible School, or I want the free book, or whatever it is. When you actually set up the form and then basically set up the Facebook pixel so that Facebook knows when people fill the form, then it can use that to sort of analyze, here's the sorts of characteristics, maybe the system would learn that, probably if you're advertising Vacation Bible School, it would probably find out that if it tries to show more of the ads to people that are, say, I don't know, 30 to 50 and have kids, right? Those are probably the people that are going to be most likely to actually sign up. Anyway, it's just a simple way to leverage the technology without having to get into trying to define a lot of really complicated targeting criteria, which you can do. But that's what I'm planning to teach for the Facebook ads, is just define a radius, come up with an engaging ad, and then set up a tracking code that's aligned to some specific form that they fill out. So, all right. So I think that how to create an email newsletter won the poll. So it looks like that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do next in September. And that's going to start on September 5th. And based off of this, we'll plan to do Facebook ads in October. But if any of you do have interest in learning more about Facebook ads in the meantime, please reach out and we can talk more about that. All right, anything else? Thank you all for coming today. It's good to see you all again.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yep.
Yeah,
all right,
thank you.
well, hope you have a great morning, great afternoon, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
Bye.